Okay, here is another mesoionic molecule which contains two sulfur atoms in the main 5-membered ring structure, and it is known as the 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate. And regarding the nomenclature of this molecule, we can start the numbering from here, this sulfur atom, such that going in this direction, what will happen is that the second sulfur atom will get the number 3 here, and this carbon atom to which the exocyclic atom is attached, it will be now having the number 4 in this way, right? So that the name will be what? It will be a 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate molecule, right? And here is what, that if we simply draw an axis of symmetry passing through this sulfur atom, and after that keeping two double bonds here, the first one on this side and the second one on this side, what will happen is we can easily draw the equivalent structure or the equivalent structural representation for this mesoionic structure. Okay, and on this side what you can see here is, it is nothing, it is just the resonating structure which is coming in this way, shifting the negative charge from here to here, sending these electrons onto this carbon atom, which will now give a negative charge here and a double bond oxygen on this side. Another resonating structure is also possible here, and that will be something like shifting of these pi electrons onto the sulfur atom in this way, such that the positive charge here on the sulfur will be dispersed, and now this carbon atom here will now be having a positive charge in this way, right? So we can also call it as our 1,3 dipole, because on the first atom as well as on the third atom there are present two opposite poles here, right? So this 1,3 dipole will be giving us the required 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reactions in case of this type A mesoionic molecule. So let us now talk about the methods of preparation for this molecule. The first one is starting from the dithioglycolic acid, which is having a structure something like this. Okay, so it is containing two sulfur atoms. The first one is this is the second one. That is why the term dithio, and also it is containing one carboxylic acid. So this whole structure here will be known as a dithioglycolic acid. You can see here the reaction conditions are what? It is in the presence of acetic anhydride, which will be acting as the dehydrating agent in this reaction, leading to a cyclodehydration type of reaction, such that we will be getting our 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate as the final product here, right? And now talking about the mechanism, we can say here that the mechanism actually starts from this dithioglycolic acid by drawing the resonating structure, the second resonating structure of this dithioglycolic acid, our first reactant. And it can be done in this simple way here, means shifting of these two electrons of the sulfur on this side, sending these electrons onto this sulfur. This will now become a double bond, something like this, with a positive charge here on this sulfur, and this double bond will now be converted into a single bond, and this sulfur here will now be having a negative charge in this way. So here is our second reactant molecule, which is the acetic anhydride. And we know that the carbonyl in this case here is having a partial type of positive charge. This means it is the electrophilic site here in this reaction, and we can easily locate where the nucleophilic site is. It is this sulfur atom having the negative charge. So now what is going to happen is that this sulfur negative will be attacking on this carbonyl group, sending these electrons of the pi bond onto the oxygen atom, giving a negative charge in this way here, and also a bond will now be formed in between this sulfur and this carbon atom, which you can see here in this next intermediate. Okay, and after that what is going to happen is the oxygen now is having a negative charge, and charges in chemistry means instability. So what is going to happen is that this will once again shift here in this way, sending these electrons onto the oxygen atom in this way, such that we will now be having this oxygen negative COCH3, and on this side this will now become a C double bond O and CH3 here, right? So in this mechanism, let us see after these types of intermediates how the reaction will be going, finally resulting in the formation of this type of required mesoionic molecule. Okay, so let us now talk about the further reaction in this type of intermediate. So on the next screen you can see here, it is that particular intermediate which we have got in between in this reaction, and here is that acetate ion. So now what is going to happen next is, carboxylic acid being an acid, it can easily give its H positive ions, right? And we do have some site here in this reaction which actually requires these H positive ions. So the interaction of these H positive ions with this oxygen having a negative charge, what will happen next is that it is going to abstract one H positive ion from here, giving a negative charge on this carboxylate ion in this way, right? And after that, because this oxygen negative will be acting as the nucleophile, it will be acting as the nucleophile. So now we just have to do is, we just have to locate the electrophilic species in this molecule here, okay? And without any doubt here, I can say that this carbonyl carbon is actually electrophilic in nature, such that the next step will be what? It will be the attack of this oxygen negative on this carbonyl here, sending these electrons onto the oxygen atom, such that now it will be having oxygen negative and a single bond, and moreover a new bond will now be formed here in this way in between the oxygen, that is the attacking nucleophile, and this carbon atom here, that was the electrophilic site of this molecule, right? And you can see here that it is resulting in the formation of a ring type of structure. And after that, what is going to happen is that these electrons will once again shift here in between the oxygen and the carbon bond in this way, and the cleavage of this sulfur and the carbon bond will be going to take place, giving a negative charge on the sulfur atom in this way here, right? And moreover, this whole species, I mean this part, will now be coming with this oxygen atom because it is already sharing a bond with this, right? So you can see here oxygen, C double bond O and CH3, right? And finally, once again you can see here that what we are having here is the sulfur negative, and it has the capability to act as a nucleophile in this reaction. And now where is our electrophilic center here? It is of course in this part of the molecule. And if you look carefully here, it is containing two electrophilic centers. This is the first one here, and here is the second one, okay? And now just imagine that if this S negative nucleophile is attacking here on this carbonyl, resulting in the formation of a bond in between this sulfur and this carbon. So how many membered ring will be formed here? It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? And instead, if it is attacking on this second possible electrophilic site, I mean this carbonyl carbon, it will be resulting in the formation of a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 membered ring structure. So we will say here that comparatively, as compared to a 7-membered ring structure, the 5-membered ring structures are more stable. So the attack will be taking place in this way here, sending these electrons onto the oxygen, such that you can see here the negative charge, and this will now become a single bond, okay? Moreover, a new bond is formed here in between this sulfur and this carbon atom in this way, and after that once again the reshifting of the electrons will take place, such that these electrons will now move here and cleaving this carbon and oxygen bond in this way, resulting in the formation of this type of acetate ion, which you can see as the byproduct in this reaction. Moreover, what will happen next is that this will now become a carbon double bond oxygen, And now the next step is what, that this acetate ion here, it needs one H positive ion, and luckily we do have one such H positive ion in this molecule. And because this is the alpha position with respect to this carbonyl group here, so these protons are actually acidic in nature. Let me write here, these are the acidic protons here. So what is going to happen is that this O negative will be taking this H positive ion from here, resulting in the generation of a negative charge on this carbon atom in this way, right? And now what is this structure here? This structure is as good as the structure of this 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate molecule. It is actually an equivalent structure. Let me write here, it is an equivalent structure for our mesoionic molecule. So it will not matter whether we are writing or drawing the structure of our 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate in this way or in this way here, right? So in this way, actually we can synthesize our mesoionic target molecule starting from the dithioglycolic acid, right? So this was the first method of synthesis. And now let us have a look on the second method, which starts from the dithiocarboxylic acids, which is having a structure like this here. Okay, so we can even compare this dithiocarboxylic acid with our regular carboxylic acid, which is what? Which is the RC double bond O single bond OH here, right? So what is present or what is new in this dithiocarboxylic acid? The two oxygen atoms of the carboxylic acid has been replaced by the two sulfur atoms in this way. Okay, and it will become what? It will become a dithiocarboxylic acid from a regular carboxylic acid. And now in this reaction here, this is what? This is the first reactant molecule. And just have a look, what is the second reactant molecule here? It is none other than the alpha haloacyl chloride, right? It is the alpha, I mean, corresponding to this carbonyl group here. This is the alpha position, and on alpha we are having some halogen here, that is chloro. And this is what? This is the this part of the molecule is what? It is the acyl part, and it is also having one chloro. So this is what? This is the acyl chloride, to which alpha, at alpha position, one halogen atom is also present. Okay, so this will be what? This will be the alpha haloacyl chloride. And let me write here, this is the second reactant molecule in this reaction. And what we want is, we want to synthesize this target molecule, which is what? Which is the 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate mesoionic and belongs to the type A category, right? So starting from this first reactant, we can say here that the resonance or the resonating structure of this dithiocarboxylic acid will be something like this, in which the electrons here, they are shifting like this, sending these electrons onto the sulfur atom, giving a sulfur negative here, and this will now become a single bond, this will now become a double bond. Moreover, because the sulfur here is forming 3 bonds, so better to put a positive charge in this way, right? So this is nothing, this is actually the resonance, it is the simple resonance here in this starting molecule, such that now you can see here, let me put here a plus sign. This is what? This is the second reactant molecule, that is the alpha haloacyl chloride. And now this is what? This is the nucleophilic site of our first reactant. This will be acting as the nucleophile, and the only thing left now for us is to locate the electrophile in this case. And now if you look here, we can have two different types of electrophilic centers. The first one is this, because the carbon atom here is having a positive charge being attached to some electronegative element here. In the same way, even this carbon atom here is also having a positive charge because it is also bonded to one oxygen and one chloro here. And let me tell you that out of this alkyl halide, because it is some carbon and a halogen bond, as compared to this alkyl halide, the acid chloride, I mean this part of the molecule, this is what? This is the acid chloride, and being more reactive, they are more susceptible to be attacked by this nucleophile in this way here, right? So these electrons will shift here onto the oxygen atom, giving a single bond here and then a negative charge, which will again shift here, leaving or eliminating the leaving group here, that is the chloro here in the form of Cl negative. Okay, so this will result in the formation of a new bond in between the sulfur and this carbonyl here, I mean this carbonyl here, and the rest of the groups are present in the same way, mean the CHCl and R2 here, which you can see here, CHR2 and Cl, right? And after that, because this sulfur here is having a positive charge, so it will simply release a proton from itself in order to disperse its positive charge, which you can see here, it is not lying here on this sulfur atom anymore, right? So after that, the resonance is shown here once again, which will be in this way. I mean these electrons coming here and sending these electrons of the pi bond onto the sulfur atom, giving a negative charge here on this sulfur, and this will now become a double bond and moreover a positive charge here on this sulfur atom, right? So once again, this sulfur negative will be acting as the nucleophile in this intermediate molecule. So before going further, let me tell you that this whole reaction mechanism is about the electrophilic and the nucleophilic type of interactions, right? And if you people are really able to locate the nucleophile and the electrophile, so it won't be a difficult for you people to understand this mechanism. So now coming back on to our mechanism, this is the nucleophile here, and the electrophile is what? It may be either this electrophile, because the carbonyl carbon is having a partial positive charge, but instead of attacking here on this carbonyl, what will happen is that this will be attacking on this carbon atom. This is also having a positive charge being attached to some electronegative element here. The reason being, if it is attacking on this carbonyl, it will be resulting in the formation of a ring, of course, but that will be what? That will be a four-membered ring, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? But rather, it will be attacking on this carbon, sending the leaving group out of the system in the form of Cl negative, and in doing so, it is resulting in the formation of a five-membered, more stable ring size here, right? And finally, what is going to happen is that it will be releasing a proton from here, which might be abstracted by the Cl negatives, which are moving in our reaction. So it will now give a negative charge here on this carbon atom, such that now after that, finally, one more resonance we can show here, and that will be in this way. I mean the electrons of the sulfur, they are moving like this, sending these electrons onto this side. So we can always better show the second resonating structure in this way. Means a single bond, a positive charge will now disappear from here, and instead the positive charge will now be coming on this sulfur atom, and this will now become a double bond here, right? And this is what? This is nothing, it is actually the target molecule. The target molecule, I mean the 1,3-dithiolium-4-olate, and this is the second synthetic method that actually starts from the dithiocarboxylic acids as the first reactant and the alpha haloacyl chlorides as the second reactant. And moreover, this whole reaction mechanism is only about the nucleophilic and the electrophilic type of interactions. And now it's time to discuss the chemical properties of the mesoionic molecule. So you can see here that the first reaction is with the alkyne molecules, and it is the cycloaddition reaction. Okay, and whatever structure you can see here is this, I mean this structure, it is what? It is the 1,3 dipolar structure of the mesoionic molecule, I mean the 1,3 dithiolium-4-olate. And here you can see that because we are interested in the reaction with some alkyne, so I am taking here a symmetrical type of alkyne molecule which will be acting as the dipolarophile in this reaction. Okay, once again, this is what? This is the 1,3 dipole, and this is the dipolarophile of our reaction. So what is going to happen next is that the negative end of the dipole will be interacting with any one of these carbon atoms, no problem at all, because this is a symmetrical molecule. So regioselectivity won't be posing any problem for us here. So this will be interacting with this carbon atom, let us say, and then this carbon atom interacting with the positive end of the dipole, resulting in the formation of a bond in between this and this carbon here. This will now become a double bond, once again a new bond formation in between this carbon and this carbon. And moreover, this double bond will now be appearing as a single bond here, resulting in the formation of a cyclic adduct, something like this here, right? So I want to add here that the mechanism is not some ionic mechanism. It is totally a concerted type of mechanism in which the bond makings and the breakings, they are occurring simultaneously, right? And now let us talk about the cleavage of this carbon and the sulfur bond, and let us see that after the cleavage, whatever positive charge will appear on this carbon atom, whether it will be stable or not. Okay, and because it only and only depends upon that if this positive charge will be stable, only then this reaction will be going from this to this here, otherwise it will simply stop here at this stage. Okay, so now let us check it out that whether the positive charge here on this carbon atom is actually stabilized by some factor or not. So we will see here that on this carbon and this carbon atom there is present a double bond such that an allylic type of resonance stabilization in this way is definitely possible here, dispersing the positive charge, or let us say stabilizing this positive charge here. This means in going from this direction to this direction, the reaction is moving towards more stability, such that now what is going to happen next is that this negative charge will come here in between, sending these electrons onto the oxygen atom, such that we will now be having a sulfur double bond carbon single bond oxygen negative, and this is the bond with this carbon atom on which R2 and some other groups are attached, I mean this carbon atom here, right? So finally this negative charge will again come back here, sending these electrons onto the carbon having this R2, such that now on this carbon atom to which the R2 group is attached, it will now be having a negative charge, and the carbonyl sulfide, I mean this part of the molecule, will now be eliminated from the rest of the molecule, which you can see here minus S double bond C double bond O. And now what we are having here is a positive charge here on this carbon atom and a negative charge here on this carbon atom. What is going to happen is that this negative charge will come here in between this carbon and this carbon, sending these electrons of the pi bond in between this and this here, finally resulting in the formation of a double bond here as well as here. And if you are able to recognize this molecule, it is a very common heterocyclic molecule. It is what? It is a thiophene molecule. So the reaction of the 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate, I mean our mesoionic, with a symmetrical type of alkyne molecule results in the formation of a substituted type of thiophene, provided that a resonance stabilization is present here in this way. Otherwise, the reaction will be going to stop here at this stage. The second reaction is, of course, with the alkene molecules. We are taking here a symmetrical alkene molecule which will be acting as the dipolarophile in this reaction. And here is the 1,3-dipolar structure of our mesoionic, which is our main reactant, because we are talking about the chemical properties, or let us say the chemical reactions of this 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate mesoionic, right? So in the same way, the interaction of this carbon atom having the negative end of the dipole will be with any of these carbon atom, because it is a symmetrical type of alkene molecule. And let us say this carbon atom here is interacting with the positive end of the dipole, resulting in the formation of a cyclic type of adduct here, in the same way which we are discussing from the past 4 or 5 lectures. I mean the similar type of cycloaddition mechanism. Okay, so now let us see that whether in this case, in case of this cyclic adduct, the cleavage of this bond from here, releasing a molecule of carbonyl sulfide and giving a positive charge here on this carbon atom is possible or not. Okay, so let us say we are moving here in this direction such that the cleavage is occurring here, giving a negative charge on this sulfur atom and a positive charge here on this carbon atom. So now if we have a careful look on the structure and the chemical environment in this molecule, we will see that the positive charge is not stabilized here because no factor, I mean no stabilizing factor is present in this molecule which can actually disperse this positive charge, right? So this clearly means that if this step is happening, whatever positive charge will come here, it will be unstable, right? So no part of the reaction wants to go towards instability. This means this cyclic adduct here is quite stable. So why it will be going towards this direction here, leading to the formation of something unstable? This is the reason why the reaction will simply stop here at this stage, I mean this cyclic adduct stage, and it will not be going further. So the final product of this reaction will be what? It will be this cyclic adduct here, right? Or we can say that the reaction of this 1,3-dithiolium-4-olate with this type of symmetrical alkene as the dipolarophile and undergoing a 1,3-dipolar type of cycloaddition, the final result will be what? It will be this type of cyclic adduct here, and the reaction won't be going further because this positive charge here is unstable and no factor is present here that can stabilize this positive charge. And for this mesoionic molecule, you can see here that we have a new addition in the chemical properties. It is what? It is the cycloaddition reaction with those compounds which contain a carbon and a heteroatom double bond, right? So here you can see here we are having this carbon atom. Moreover, a heteroatom is also present and there is present a double bond in between. So obviously this will also be acting as the dipolarophile in this reaction. And here you can see this is the 1,3 dipolar structure as usual of our 1,3-dithiolium-4-olate, whose chemical properties we want to study here, right? So this is the third chemical reaction, and in the same way, using the regular 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition mechanism, and the interactions will be like this here, giving rise to this type of cyclic adduct. And let us see even here in this case that whether the cleavage of this bond from here sending carbonyl sulfide out of the system is possible or not. Okay, so what we will see here is that after this cleavage, what will happen is that a positive charge will appear here, and as in the previous case, even in this case, no factor is possible here which can stabilize this positive charge. Although we are having one oxygen atom here that can stabilize this positive charge to a little bit by electron releasing resonance effect. But in that case, what is going to happen to this oxygen atom is that it will now be having a double bond here, so that we need to put a positive charge. And we can say that this type of resonance is what? This type of resonance is least effective. So the overall effect of this oxygen electron releasing resonance effect towards this carbon atom having this positive charge, it is almost negligible, right? So the positive charge here is not stable at all, and thus this reaction won't be going further and it will simply stop here at this stage, such that this cyclic adduct will be stable and it will be acting as the final product of this reaction of our mesoionic compound with a carbon heteroatom double bond containing compound, right? So this is all about the chemical properties and the reactions of the 1,3-dithiolium-4-olate molecule. And thank you so much.